You know, free hotel rooms or coupons aren't always the same as what they seem. If it says free any day, it doesn't mean that it's free any time. Um, Last weekend, which was coming up on the 24th, I made a booking to stay at Ballys, Tunica. The operator on the telephone, I told her that we'd have to travel from Birmingham to Tunica, or Robbinsville, or whatever the place is, um, in Mississippi. Will be late because my wife finishes at 5 o'clock. Okay, so she says, well, you'll have to ring up tomorrow and speak to the manager there tomorrow and let them know that you'll be late. I ring up um, on Friday, knowing that I've got the booking, about 12 p.m. And, I always take notes. So no matter what I do, I take notes. So if you have a look on there, 12 p.m. So I rang up, I spoke to the girl, and I told her that we'd be late. She had a look. Yes, Mr. Monroe, we know that you're going to be late. But you'll have to ring up the afternoon manager and let them know. So again, being a courtesy, I decided to ring up the afternoon manager, because they said the afternoon manager will be in at 3 p.m. So I thought, well, probably about 3 p.m, give it a little bit. 4 o'clock, I'll let her know that we're going to be running late. Well, I ring up, and it's about nearly 4 o'clock. I said, my wife finishes at 5, we'll be running late, and we'll be there about 9:30, 10 o'clock, whatever, depending on the traffic and travel time. But we're coming, and she goes, yeah, those coupons, they run out at 8 o'clock at night. I said, well, if the coupon runs out, we've been up there before, we've booked in late, we're just doing a courtesy to let you know. Well, those coupons run out at 8 o'clock at night. I can't guarantee your room. I said, well, I haven't got a helicopter, and I don't own an aeroplane, and I said it's impossible for me to make a 4.5 hour trip within 3 hours from 5 o'clock when my wife finishes work. Well, she said, well, I can't guarantee that you'll have a room, but if you do turn up and we do have a room, you can book in as a regular guest. And that's at $59 or $59 plus tax. I thought, you fucking rip-offs. I booked yesterday. I'm ringing up as a courtesy to let you know that I'm going to be late because I can't drive as quick as what I can. So, she read me the riot act, like I should, that the cut-off point's at 8 o'clock. She can't help me, can't hold the room until I turn up, which would have probably been about an hour and a half later after cut-off point at 8 o'clock. Ah, bastards. So I said, well, look, I won't be able to make it at 8 o'clock. You'll have to cancel me out. I can't make it. The problem is that why I booked to go up there was that they had some offers. They had some offers like 2 coffee pots. One, my wife would get a coffee pot. I'll get a coffee pot and gifts. They had some free plays that the casino offers. So when we turned up there but at Friday, they had a $10 free play and another $10 free play because you turned up on Friday. So that was $20. Then after 12 o'clock on the next day, you end up with another $10 because it's Saturday and they give you free play. Plus they had free food at the barn, which was another $10 voucher. Plus they had free, food at the buffet, so a free buffet also. And my wife and I were really excited about going up there and, using up our gifts and, travel, using the travel time, the gas and, the gambling free plays. We were really excited. And we were cut short because we could not travel that distance, even though it was. I rang up as a, just to inform that I'll be running late. Well, that was no good for them. They didn't want our business, so we ended up going to. We considered about going to another casino who would have wanted our business, but we were a little bit jacked off, so we ended up booking Silver Star, Pearl River Resort, and they put us up in a suite. So, and they gave us comp foods and stuff like that. So, if Ballys didn't want our business, they should have said so when I first booked and told them that I'll be running late because of the distance that we have to travel. And, it was like talking to a deaf mute saying that we have to travel and that we can't physically make a trip that's 4.5 hour drive. That's if you're sticking to the speed limits, within 3 hours or less, because you still have to get in the car, get out of town, and get up towards Birmingham and then cut across up towards Jasper. So anyway, I was just a little bit upset with that. So I rang up, the complaints department. I rang up the telephone number that said Tunica. I rang up, I explained my situation to the lady on there because she wanted to put me through to the right person. And she said, before you say any more, we only got one manager and he won't be back until November the 1st. And I said, well, is there anyone else I can talk to about this situation? And she said, well, on the side, I want to tell you something. She said, our coupons are only valid till 6 o'clock. She should have told you, even though she said 8 o'clock, because booking time is from 4 o'clock onwards. So if you've got a coupon, you've got to book. If you booked in the day before or whatever may be, you've got to be there within 2 hour period. That doesn't make sense. So she started reading the Riot Act, and then she said, our coupons do run out at 8 o'clock at night. They should have explained that to you. And I said, well, you should have explained it to me when I made my booking. I said I was going to be late because I couldn't travel that fast. So she started reading me the Riot Act that I should have known, and they should have told me, and this, that, the other, and people don't turn up, and this. But I said, well, if you're ringing up and you're telling them that you're going to be late, and they've got your credit card number, they've got all these things, I mean, doesn't that tell you that you are tell them that you are turning up? But and she said, all right, I'll get you hold of someone. So she transfers me over to an answering machine, and I haven't heard from the person when I'd done that, when I contacted them. So I thought, well, fuck you. If you're going to be rude to me and chuck me over and put me on to someone that doesn't exist on an answering machine, and Ballys Tunica doesn't have anyone for a week to be able to handle issues or problems or whatever, because we missed out on our gifts and all that sort of stuff because we were not going to go over the speed limit to get there. And we explained that situation, not owning a aeroplane or a helicopter or anything like that, and it was basically impossible, and that would have placed us in danger to Speed and other people. So I got a whole list of phone numbers here down the bottom here. Alright, you'll see them. And I thought, well, bugger it. I'm going to ring up Ballys in Las Vegas. They must have a corporate office. Well, I ring up and I get hold of someone, and she says, no, we don't have it. Ballys doesn't have a corporate office. They're run all independently. And I said, well, this is the situation. And she said, well, I'll put you on to someone, but that's the person who's in charge of, these, what do you call them, rewards, something rewards. And I thought, well, she transferred me back. She told me that they didn't have an office down in, the Ballys didn't have an office down in Tunica. Well, I don't know why she didn't know that. But she put me onto another answering machine. So I hang up from that one. And I just got the total runaround. I did get onto TripAdvisor. And I did try to contact the corporate office, as you can see on here. Bailey's corporate office. Well, that wasn't the number. Because I don't think that was a fair deal to be able to ring up a manager and tell them, that we're going to be running late. Save our room, please, because we're going to be there. It's just that we can't drive fast enough to get there, and this is the time that we'll be arriving. We wanted to stay an extra day there too, a second day, which was on the Saturday. But anyway, they didn't even give us a chance to even make that booking either, because we were ill-informed that a coupon that says that you can stay there any day means that it's any day, but it has to be between a certain time. Otherwise, we weren't informed that it was on a certain time. It didn't even read anywhere that said you had to be there by 6 o'clock, or if they're going to hold it back by 8 o'clock at the latest. But it was only 4 o'clock in the afternoon when I rang. So I know people just listening, but coupons aren't coupons. They're not what they say they are. And I said, my wife had a Sunday to Thursday, which we could have stayed there on the Saturday and then got the Sunday to Thursday, but we just didn't like the attitude that we were given. And this is where, if you can read there, it says runs out at 8 p.m. coupon becomes void at 8 p.m. Now it says 4 p.m. I rang up, basically 5 p.m. Finishes work. That was not possible to travel 4.5 hour drive from Birmingham to Tunica in 3 hours. I tried to explain that many times. Now I know I repeat myself, and that's just the way it is, but be careful if you're going to use coupons, because some of these people who are managers of these places, they're managers, but they haven't got people skills sometimes. I don't know who the person was who was on. I don't know why there was an attitude towards me because I was going to be late. And it's not my fault that I'm going to be late. It's the problem with work. We got to work to be able to spend. And if Baileys don't want our money, then we won't be able to spend. And if you're got a free coupon that says any day, you can ring up sometimes and they'll just tell you there's no rooms available. But you ring up as a normal customer and they say, yeah, sure. So anyway, that was only just from that organisation that we lost out on, the free complimentaries. Well, you get the free complimentaries because you've been there before and you've gambled with them, and it's built up, a system on their computer. Now, there's other places up at Tunica that have gambling areas also, that have free, they give out free complimentary gambling and so on too. So we lost out on that. Also going to visit other places, and Baileys is, I just don't think that if you ring up to make a complaint and you get told that there's no one that you can talk to about your complaint and what you've missed out on and how it was handled, and being read the Riot Act even from the person who does the bookings, not only just from Ballys themselves at the hotel, but the person who does the bookings. Well, you know that 8 o'clock at night, they should have told you. Well, fuck. When I rang up and told you, you should have told me. Instead of me going through the bullshit and having to ring a normal telephone number instead of a 1-800 number. I kept having to ring this, it's called 16623, so I'm using it's not a 1-800 number. So anyway, it just annoyed me. It really pissed me off how, they say that the manager is San Diego Noble, the manager at Tunica. Well, San Diego Noble ain't called me back, and anyone else that I've called there, it's hard to even get telephone numbers off the internet to ring up these places. But yeah, being read the Riot Act, that it's my fault that I didn't turn up at a certain time, it's just, you read it. I did. I read TripAdvisor about Ballys, and a lot of people say on TripAdvisor and Ballys that people book in at many different times of the morning at Ballys, and you don't have to have ring and let them know in advance. But we were doing it properly, and it was actually on TripAdvisor. It doesn't say on there that your booking you have to be there by 6 o'clock or else. And it doesn't say that at all on TripAdvisor. So someone's lying somewhere. Or they just don't want your business. Just someone's lying. I think that someone was lying that night. Because, firstly, if I have to get hold of 3 people, make a booking, then ring the manager, and then the manager says, no, you've got to ring the afternoon manager, and the afternoon manager is like, Well, someone's lying that, I should have known that if they're going to place my life in danger, that I have to be there by a certain time, even though we're still going there, and we were going to book the next day to stay there because I didn't have an extra day. They just don't want your business. And really bad public relations skills. I'm a customer, I'm not a worker there, so you don't treat me like I'm one of your workers.